Hello folks, welcome back. In this tutorial, I'm also going to do another example of classes and objects to make things very clear. So we're going to take an example of an employee class. So we will create an employee class. Now each of the employee, let's say, will have a name. So we'll create a variable to store the name. So we'll create a string name. We'll also have a variable to store the designation of the employee. So we'll say designation of the employee. And there will be a method which is going to go ahead and display it. So this is an employee class. So let's create an employee class and then we're going to create a couple of employees. So we'll go to our developer console. We'll start with an employee class. We create an employee class here. Click OK. Now each of these employees will have a name. And also, so we'll make it a public string name, and then to store the designation, we're going to have another one to store the designation of the employee. Now, and also we'll have a simple method and this will display the name of the employee and then this we're going to go ahead and display the designation of the employee. So after creating this class, we have not created anything on the memory yet. Nothing has been created in the memory yet. So now we're going to go ahead and create the objects. So to do that, we're going to go to the open execute. We're going to get rid of this. We're going to create two employee objects. So I'm going to create, this is the first one, and another employee object. This is the second one. So writing these two statements, what it has done is it has created in the memory, it has created two different employee objects. It has created one employee object and then another one. Right now there is no remote control or reference variable I've created. So I'm going to create for this variable, let's say I'm going to create employee E1 for this one, and for this employee E2 will be for the other one. Now here, so I have created two remote controls. So this one is E1 and for this one is E2. So these are the two remote controls. What this remote control has, they only have the memory location of these employees. So let's say this particular employee is at EE111, so this E1 only has this address. Similarly for E2, let's say it is stored at memory location 222, and let's say this only has the memory address for E22. So that's how. Now right now each of these are called as the instance variable, because these instances, objects are also called instances. So these instances will have their own copies of these variables. So there will be a name for this one and there will be a designation for this employee. Similarly, there will be a name for this employee as well as the designation, because these two are the instance variables. Each of the instances that you create from this class will have its own copy of these instances. So if you go back here, now I'm going to say the first employee E1 name is, let's say, John, and E1 dot of designation of this employee is, let's say, he's a senior manager. And similarly for E2, the name is, let's say, Steve, and let's say his designation is, let's say, manager. Now we're going to go ahead and call the show method. So we'll say E1 dot of show and we're going to say E2 dot of show. So what we're doing is E1 is referring to this one, this variable. So what is the name here? Name of this is John and he is the senior manager. Similarly, E2 is pointing to this object, this employee. So his name is Steve and he is the manager. So now if you call the show method, this is a non-static method. We will cover static and non-static. This is a non-static method because it does not have a static keyword in it. So now if you run it, it's going to go ahead and print John and senior manager and Steve and manager. So if you go up and call this, The output of the program will be, we're only interested in the debug, so there'll be John, senior manager, manager, and let's say the designation of why is he null. Let's see if we have set the value or not. So this is designation. And now if we go back here and if we execute, the output of the program is John, senior manager, Steve, and manager. So this is called as the classes and objects. I hope you have understood the difference between what classes and objects in a better way. In the next tutorial, we will talk about static and the non-static methods. Till then, stay tuned and thank you so much.